Verse number 7, neither be ye idolaters as some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Now, when we typically think of idolatry or an idol, most commonly in the Bible, it's just referring to a piece of wood that's carved into some kind of an image, and it's graven, it's overlaid with some silver, with some gold, and people will bow down and worship that image as if it's a god. And that's accurate, and that's correct. But there's a much broader sense of the term idolatry. It goes deeper, it goes a little wider than just having, because today, there's not many, there's some people in the world that still do something like that. I've seen these figurines of like a Buddha, and people actually literally get on their knees in front of it, or some other figures of some imagined god. But idolatry can affect us even if it's not just making an idol. The reference here, yeah, it was the reference of Aaron making the golden image, that golden calf. But when it brings up the idolatry, what does it say? The people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. In reference to their idolatry. What they do, they forgot about serving God and doing the work that the Lord has for them. And all they did care about at that point is became these hedonists. They just cared about whatever feels good. Oh yeah, we just want to have fun. There's nothing wrong with getting a little entertainment. There's nothing wrong with blowing off a little steam. You know, you work real hard. We should have some time to be able to rest. But we need to be very careful that that rest doesn't just turn into forsaking doing things for God, and just like the children of Israel did, oh, they sat down to eat and drink, and they just rose up to play, and that's what their life's about. And that's what everything becomes about. Let's keep reading here because it goes on. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. That was God's judgment as a result of their fornication. 23,000 people died. That's a lot of people to die for a sin. I mean, it shows us, these are examples for us, mind you. These are our examples. We need to get right in our hearts how serious these sins are. Neither let us tempt Christ, verse 9, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. Look at all these various sins. I mean, just murmuring. They're complaining. And what happened? God killed them. They fornicated. What happened? God killed them. They tempted Christ, as some of them tempted. And what happened? They were destroyed of serpents. These things are serious. We can't let them creep into our life. We need to keep it at bay as far away as possible. You know, the Bible says flee fornication. I mean, you need to go run in the other direction from fornication. You need to make sure that you're not just getting this soft spot and putting this up in front of your eyes and allowing yourself to view everything and be desensitized to it and think it's not that big of a deal. Because that's where the sin starts. That's when it becomes an option for you. Verse number 11, now all these things happened unto them. Again, look, all these things happened unto them for our ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore, so because of this reason, because, look, they went through all this stuff, they're examples for us to look at, to learn from, to not fall into the same trap. Therefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. Oftentimes there are people that they think everything's going great. And what happens when you start thinking everything is going well, there's no way I would ever do that sin, you start to get a little bit lifted up and your guard goes down. And we need to make sure that our guard isn't going down in many areas of our life. Many of you already know this. I made a personal vow to God one night about not ever touching alcohol again. Never going to drink it again. And I've kept that vow. Praise God. I'm thankful. Like, from that moment that I made that vow, I've never had another sip of alcohol. But I can't just say, oh, well, no, I'm pastoring a church. I'm so far above that sin that I don't even have to worry about it anymore. That's a foolish attitude to have. I need to take heed to myself. That's just one example. That's one real simple, basic example, something that I use, especially, and especially the things that you used to do, that you used to be, maybe used to be a problem for you. Watch out for those things. Take heed to yourself. Don't allow yourself to, because here's the way it happened. I could say, I'm so far above ever drinking again that it wouldn't even be that big of a deal. I could just go out to the bar and I could just hang out around this stuff. I could go to these parties and everyone else could be drinking around me and I'm so strong, I'm not even going to think about it. That's the farthest thing from my mind. And that's foolishness. Because you start getting lifted up in your own strength, thinking that you're so powerful. You know what's going to happen? You get worn down. It's going to happen. You get worn down over time, and you need to take heed to yourself lest you fall.